Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be discussing who will the Utah Jazz be drafting in this year's NBA draft. And they have several picks. We'll primarily discuss their top picks and then kind of discuss the latter ones. However, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. What is the expectation? Are we putting the chips together and starting to actually try to be a competent team? Or is this going to be another year that they tank? I think it could be the latter more so than the former. Now, let me hear your opinions in the comments. I'd like to hear what you'd have to say. Besides that, if you guys want more basketball content like this, I work for hoopshype.com as a multimedia journalist, so like and subscribe. It'll help out the channel a ton. Now, what I think is interesting about all of this is that with the 5th pick, the Utah Jazz are in a position that I think, let me first off list all the picks that they have at their disposal. They have the 5th pick and the 21st from Minnesota. They have the 31st also from Minnesota, the 43rd, the 53rd. I don't think they're going to draft that many times, to be honest. That's 5 players. I wouldn't be surprised if they packaged or sold off some of their second rounders to contending teams for either cap space or future picks. But maybe 2 guys are drafted, tops 3. But we'll talk about all of them, rightfully so, because they do deserve. What is Utah looking for, regardless if they're competing or if they're a team that expects to be in the lottery again? Well, they need a backcourt scorer. Keontae George was experimented as a point guard, and they've realized he's a shooting guard now. They probably are trying to figure out, is he a bench player or is he a starter? I think Trey Johnson, everybody's expectation, would be that backcourt scorer and playmaker who can come in and play both the shooting guard and the wing and hit shots off movement and grow within Will Hardy's offense and be a sidekick and help, like a guy who can help scoring for Lauri Markkanen. And that's the biggest thing, is getting another guy, especially if it's true that Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton are being shopped and put on the trade block aggressively, while it's John Collins is potentially going to remain. I think if we look at now the options, it does become interesting because it does become interesting due to the fact that Trey Johnson, top tier scorer in this draft class, absolute bucket. The only player I think they could take right here, I think 2 other guys. Con Knipple, just Danny Ainge, I guess Austin Ainge is now the guy, but is maybe the dark horse for me. The other dark horse, and this is the play, I think they'll just address this in the latter half of the draft with their second first round pick, a big man, if Walker Kessler is going to be traded or if they just don't plan on re-signing him. I know there could be a Jeremiah Fears or Kasparis Yakchonis because they do need a point guard. But to me, the point guards that are available right now are projects. And I guess if you rather just see through Isaiah Collier one more season, as he had a good second half to his rookie year, the guard, like the lead guard class, is better next year's draft than this year's. So get a veteran, figure out what you guys have there. But if it's not the obvious expectation of a Trey Johnson pick, and if they don't do Con Knipple as like the other potential wing, or player who could fit their style and positional need. Kaman Mawach, who is a raw, big, people have said like an uber athletic Rudy Gobert. I think a lankier DeAndre Jordan more so, but that's what you're looking at right there. Now, I think they're going to take Trey Johnson. So who do you go in the latter half of the draft? I think you look at a big man. You seriously look at a big man. Is that going to be with your other first round pick? Or is that going to be with your second round pick? I think it depends on who's available. There could be a run of big men that, like, all the solid big men that are left at 21 is Ryan Kalkbrenner and older players that you can just wait to the second round to get them. But if Thomas Sorber or Jean Beringer ends up falling to you at 21, I think that's the type of guy or guys you'd be content with drafting as Walker Kessler replacements. Now, the biggest thing you guys need to understand is I think getting a big who can run the floor, the biggest thing here in the NBA today is being able to run it up and down the floor. They'll really dictate what kind of big man you're going to be in the NBA, as if you're not able to keep up with the pace, you're going to be played off the floor. We see that with Brook Lopez, Andre Drummond, and a lot of the other big men that are older now or were, stalwarts back in their heyday, but because they've lost the foot, it's not the same. And I wonder if you're looking at that, as I said, Asa Newell is someone that I think they could be interested in at 21, but I think he's going to be gone by the lottery. There's a chance Sorber's gone by 21. Jean Beringer, I wouldn't go Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf's not solving. You don't draft Danny Wolf to replace Walker Kessler because you want a rim protector. So let's say Jean Beringer and Thomas Sorber, Newell. Obviously, at that point, Colin Murray Boyles, Kaman Mawach, Derek Queen will all have been drafted. So who do you go at 21 then? I think if Rasheer Fleming's there, that's a legit guy that you sit here and you're like, Rasheer could be a value to them. But if they go wing, or I don't know if it's Cedric Howard. I mean, if there's no bigs there, I go best player available, which could be a Noah Penda, a Cedric Howard, a Jace Richardson, a Rasheer Fleming. And if that's the case, I would just then consolidate the second rounders to move up to the very front of the second, which currently with their picks, they're 31. So like they have the first pick in the second round, and that can be a guy that they get like Maxime Renault. But again, like he's an okay defender. Ryan Kalkbrenner at that point would be the guy that I would just take and then just sell off the rest of the picks if we already drafted 3 guys like that. But yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on those. I want to hear your guys's. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree or not? But yeah, take care. Like, comment, subscribe if you made it all the way to the end. I appreciate every single one of you. Ciao.